Imagine thinking you had 25 years to meet a challenge or seize an opportunity, yet the outcome depended on taking action today. Then imagine not knowing all you need to know to make the right choices. Imagine the cost of being wrong. That scenario is unfolding right now in communities large and small all around Ontario. Thankfully, registered professional planners are at the center of the discussion. And as bias-free champions of the public interest, they are helping guide the journey. Over the next 25 years, the opportunities for communities that embrace new technologies are profound. Mobility, impacting the way we move. Broadband for all, allowing smaller communities to compete. Technologies that level the playing field for all cultures. Technology is transforming how and where we move, live, and work. Most of it is good, but there are challenges. Meet registered professional planner Angela Gibson.
As many people as technology helps, we also run the risk of leaving huge populations behind and unable to catch up. We think of large urban centers as younger and uniformly plugged into the future. But are these same large urban centers fully engaged in all of their communities and residents? Is everyone at the table? Is everyone being heard? The answer is probably not yet, and that's a huge challenge. So how do we make moving to smart technology platforms inclusive and meaningful for all urban and suburban communities? What happens if technology leaves these populations further behind? The same challenge is even more acute the further you get into rural Ontario. The burden of putting the infrastructure in place to fully access new technologies may be beyond the capacity of smaller tax bases. How many rural communities will be left behind? And how will they compete for economic growth? In the public interest, we can't wake up in 25 years to find 50% of Ontarians are unable to take advantage of the living, mobility, and economic opportunities made possible by technology. Good planning demands that we get everyone to the table now, that we recognize diversity, that we connect the dots between education and the future economic development, that we ensure inclusivity today for tomorrow.
There is an unseen element of municipal growth that challenges how we adapt for future growth, or equally, to address decline. The city of Barrie is a good example. Well-governed, progressive, expanding at a clip that will see it welcome over 100,000 more people within 25 years. Growth waits for no one, and the rate of change, up or down, is accelerating. Meet registered professional planner and director of planning for the city of Barrie, Michelle Banfield.
Speed of change is a challenge, primarily because it's a double-edged sword. We know we have to shift from detached homes to gently and sensitively increasing density. We know we have to evolve for how people move around. But there are so many things we can't predict. What will employment look like for a city of 250,000 people 25 years from now? What will commuting look like? What zoning do we need to consider to remain open to change? And that's not the toughest part. What's difficult in high or slow growth environments alike is that change is accelerating while the basic fundamentals of community building are not. It still takes 10 years to grow a tree. It takes 1 year to build a kilometer of infrastructure, no matter how fast the world spins. What starts in high-speed motion today will be irreversible by the time you reach the 25-year mark, growth or decline. Meaning we have to get it right, now. At the City of Barrie, projects like our waterfront and collaborative spaces like this are good outcomes of what I think works. We are focused on becoming more nimble as a planning team. We are focused on more collaborations between other public sector departments and the private sector. And we are mentoring and training our talent pool to optimize for flexibility. Because while the future is coming faster and faster, it still takes 10 years to grow a tree.
Temperatures will go up. Rain and snowfall patterns will become more extreme. Agricultural productivity will shift. Nature will migrate. Coping technologies will emerge, but not for everyone. Climate change is the challenge of our times. there will always be deniers, leaving the rest of us to address reality now, so our kids don't bear the entire burden. Meet University of Guelph professor Wayne Caldwell from the School of Environmental Design and Rural Development.
If I told you that the productivity of Canadian farms was going to increase by upwards of 35% due to climate change, you'd probably say, wow, that's fantastic. But if I follow that with the fact that farm productivity in virtually all of the US South, Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia will decrease by 50%, does that change your lens? Climate change, it's inevitable, and it's unlikely that we can engineer our way out of it. What we can do is use the lens of good planning to address the impacts of climate change. We can align building codes to new realities, adapt housing policy, protect floodplains, and improve stormwater management. We can better plan for sustainable rural development. We can help elected officials be better informed, and we can help them stand up for the interests of a new generation. We can help people change consumptive habits through education and through also connecting quality research to practice. Planners are ideally suited to these roles. My students get it, my peers and my colleagues, they understand it. Planners blend good science and the public interest in an objective manner where the only bias is ensuring quality of life. Because while we can't stop climate change, we do have to live with it. And that we can plan for.
Equal access to technology, managing the speed of growth or decline, reducing the impact of climate change. You don't have to wait 25 years to see what happens. Professional planners are leading change now by informing good choices and inspiring the communities we serve.